Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 45 of Rebreak Radio. My name is Dennis, and today I am joined by my new coworker, Danny.
Hello.
So
Oh,
tell the people a little bit about you.
well, I wanted to have my proper name, Danadil Chips, but I wasn't allowed to. He refused.
Yes,
Um,
because it's
I'm, yeah,
ridiculous.
I, I have my rights.
Yeah.
I am the technical designer at Right Nice Games, so I do everything. That's my job.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Well. Anyway. Yeah. I'm now officially. Well. Not really. Well, I'm interning. I'm interning at Right Nice Games, and well, all the paperwork is done, so I'm technically well.
Don't
I'm
you
kind
start in
of
January?
what?
Don't you start in January?
Yeah,
Or have
but
you already started?
yeah, all the paperwork is done already, but I'm officially starting
Yeah.
in January. Right now, I'm doing some part time stuff, but yeah, so that's super cool. And if you watched this show before, Kevin, who was on the show like a few weeks ago, he's the CEO of Right Nice Games. So
My boss.
yeah, it's kind of my
Your
boss
boss
too.
too.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey.
Um, so that's cool. It's very cool. So yeah, let's start by introducing you a little bit. So what's your favorite game of all time?
Oh God. I by default I go to Paper Mario 64 because I play as young, so it has the nostalgia. You can have that, but
Mm,
also feels like it does like put fun into an otherwise kind of boring genre. Like the RPG we put. I
mm,
love strategy games, but I can't deal with that. But Mario has this like these action commands, all of the different battles, have fun characters, you move around, you remember people,
mm.
go through this like adventures um, part, you go through this adventure, you have to go back, just being in a little world. It's lovely. I also love Frostpunk.
What? Frostpunk?
Frostpunk is the best game this year and all other years. It didn't come out this year. I don't care. It's the best one.
Okay, I've never heard of it. So
You
so
don't know what
why
Frostpunk is?
so why Paper Mario 64 over Thousand Year Door? That's the one that
I
everyone
didn't have a
loves.
GameCube.
Okay, so you haven't played it.
I'm I've been jumping consoles since I was a little wee snappy boy. I had the Nintendo 64, then I went to PlayStation 2 like a normal person, because every PlayStation 2 was like it's the best-selling console ever. Has a DVD player, brilliant console. So from 64, so I just didn't have an opportunity to play it, and that was very expensive. Although I do have an emulator for it.
Okay. So yeah,
I
today.
do have heard that it's way better than the original in
Mhm.
every way. It's like one of the best sequels. But uh, this these days
Yeah, yeah,
should
same,
probably take
same
it
here.
back.
I played a little bit of Paper Mario 64 on
Mhm.
Wii Virtual Console
Yeah, I think they had it in the
years
Wii U
ago.
also had it.
Um, Never finished it, but I did like it. Um,
Mhm.
and Thousand Year Door, I've tried to start playing 4 times. It's just every time I'm playing, like, yeah, this is nice, and then I'm like, I don't have time for a 50-hour RPG right now.
Yeah, I'm not at that spot anymore.
Yeah.
Um, when if people are gonna ask what I think about Origami King, I'm gonna say that Paper Mario is dead. Long live the new Paper Mario. No matter if I'm happy about it or not, it's what it is now. It does what it want. What does what it want to do. It's not what I wanted to do. Work with other people, so it's fine. I accept the death.
You got the bug fables.
Bug? Oh, yeah, that's true.
It's kind of
I
the
also
spiritual.
it does have like it does have this in the thing, but also like that is slightly cheap indie feel to it, which is kind
Mm,
of nice. But I'm not fully in. I don't have the time anymore. I do say that I
yeah.
play a lot of grand strategy games, so I do have a lot of time. I just don't want to invest in a story.
Mhm. So today we are going to be talking about the Game Awards. If you saw the thumbnail, which you probably did before you clicked the video, yes, we are talking about the Game Awards. It's not clickbait, you know. So yeah, let's.
Like the weirdest clickbait ever.
So have
I'm
you?
actually going to talk about the never heard this game session. I don't know what the Game Award thing was, just a ploy.
Yeah, exactly. So have
I'm
you
talking
have you
about
ever
DreamWorks.
seen? Have you ever watched the Game Awards before?
I
The actual
usually, yes,
show.
either I watch the actual show or I watch people watch the show.
Mm,
Um, there's some fun bits. A lot of it's kind of filler.
yeah.
It's fun, more fun when you make your own fun, like how Jeff Keighley loves, deeply loves, and want to propose to Hideo Kojima. That's like great. Whenever they're on stage, just wait for him to just drop down on a knee.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
all that kind of all the idiosyncrasies, stuff like that, lovely. Otherwise, performances. When it's a song I like or actually know, it's okay.
Yeah.
Less of it, it's okay. Some nomination, some award things, I don't know why they get like just a little, stab, like a little shank, like in between other ones. Even though I feel like the ones that those rewards, small rewards, are often more interesting than the actual, like often like the esport
Mm,
stuff. Or I don't know, they actually never get like some nomination get like a big stage thing, and some you just get a little in betweener. But you kind of feel like, what's the point in that case? You just don't have those nominations almost,
mm.
or have or like you do the Oscars does and have like a small version. Because I think they have that for like special effects and stuff. They're like a small Oscars for just those things
Yeah, yeah,
that mainstream doesn't care about.
yeah. So yeah, we're gonna talk about. We're not gonna talk about all the categories, but we're gonna go through like some of the ones that we have something to say about, and then we're gonna also just give our opinions on well who's going to win and what our games of the year are, and also what we
Mhm.
think is going to be announced at the show. So
Should we save the game of the year to last? Because that's like the big one.
um,
Because having that one first, that's fun, surely.
it's at the top of the list, so we can
Okay.
start with that one. Okay, where is the
Kind of a problem I found with having like the game of the year thing is that it does kind of suck out the tension of other categories. Because like Hades is on the best game of the year, but also the indie
I don't
one,
know.
and none of these ones are indie. So it kind of feels like, how possibly could Hades be on this nomination and not win like a grade down nomination?
Yeah,
So it kind
yeah.
of spoils that one.
Nominations on the Game Awards is always a little bit iffy. Like it's very weird all about like what games are really like even possible, even capable of being nominated and all that stuff. But whatever, it's Game Awards is the
Like
Game Awards.
yeah.
So
Cyberpunk, you can't have that because it just came out like 2 minutes ago.
yeah,
It was
so
this year.
let's start with Game of the Year.
Okay.
Recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience across all creative and technical fields. So the
Hmm.
nominees are Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Animal Crossing New Horizons, and The Last of Us Part 2. So we talked a little bit about this before the show. Which one is your pick?
The only game I actually played here, to be brought up, is Doom. While that game is it's great, it's like the last Doom, but slightly better. Does that really deserve a game of the year? I don't really think so. To me, what game of the year category like kind of means is the is the year's game more than it's the best made game.
Mm,
So for what I would think should win is Animal Crossing, because that's more of like a cultural phenomenon. Especially like I haven't really heard people playing Hades or Final Fantasy the remake. A lot of these are like early this year. That feels kind of sad. Not a lot of late one. Hades is a late one.
mm,
Um, yeah, like I only heard kind of like not the best about The Last of Us. I heard that it's basically just the first one, but some people think the story is worse, or like that it does stuff they don't like. Which
Yeah.
kind of feel like, should that be a game of the year? Eh. Ghost of Tsushima, sure. I haven't played that. I heard good things about it. Final Fantasy, I don't understand it. I just look at it. It's like Super League of Legends, just shiny stuff. I don't understand. Um, Hades kind of feel like older games, personally. And also, of course, but Animal Crossing, I don't think is the best design game here. I
Mm,
kind of seem like Animal Crossing is like the most like wow design in the game. It's very simple, which kind of what it's supposed to be.
mm.
Your thoughts?
So, yeah. So out of these ones, I have played Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Animal Crossing New Horizons, and The Last of Us Part 2. So I've not played Hades or Doom Eternal. I did, however,
Mhm.
play the 2016 Doom. Um, my pick here is, to anyone that knows me, is not going to be a surprise. The Last of Us Part 2. Um, I
Boo!
think I think this game is it is a landmark achievement in interactive entertainment, in my opinion, and that's a lot of big words. Um, but honestly, like the way that, like, if you look at The Last of Us Part 2 just on surface level, it just looks like a linear single player story based game. And sure, it is that, but the way it tells its story actually uses the interactive aspect of the medium. And yeah, it's not through giving the player choice, but it is instead through forcing the player to do things that they are not comfortable doing. Constantly throughout this game, you are basically being emotionally manipulated by the game. The game intentionally wants you to be to just feel hate and a sense you want like urge for revenge um and constantly they this feed your anger as feed your anger over the course of the game, but it so works. And the twist, I'm not gonna spoil the twist, but doing the Palpatine voice is not great. um,
This is the twist that is in the beginning, because I know of it.
so I mean, there are technically like two twists or three if you count the ending as well, but um, yeah. So like it's very interesting to see like the hate around this game because a lot of people hate it because of how a major character from the first game was treated in this one. And I think it's funny that a lot of people are hating the game because the game is intentionally making you hate what happens in the game. So to me, a lot of the hate that's shown online just kind of shows how effective the game is at what it's trying to do. The problem is that the ending seems to flow over the head of a lot of people, where the ending is trying to not keep fueling your anger, but instead teach you a lesson about anger and revenge and all of these kind of these topics, right? But seems like a lot of people didn't really catch on to it. Well,
Is that the
and
theme of the game? The anger and rage and stuff. Is that the theme? Because like from I see from the trailers, she looks kind of mad.
yeah,
Is that kind of what it's about?
yeah, exactly. Like it is about that wanting revenge, or at least. I mean, I'm not the problem with this game is the more you talk about it, the more you're gonna spoil it for people. So yeah. Anyway, I think it is a masterclass in game design, because of how this story is designed in such a way that only really works in an interactive medium. Because if this was
So,
just a movie, you would just be sitting and watching it, and it happens. Like, sure, you would feel for the characters and all this stuff, but in a game, this is something that you are actually doing, and you are pulling off every move that happens in the game. So you kind of get this feeling of um, like you start to feel responsible for your actions, and they play with that in very interesting ways. So yeah, those are my
Um,
thoughts about.
so it's not actually like the story itself that you're like so passionate about. It's actually like integration within the gameplay and the story, how they integrate. That is the that you like. So that's like the
Yes,
core what you
that,
like.
but also I love the
The
story,
story.
and also I love the gameplay. Oh,
Okay.
dude, the
How
gameplay is
different? Because like I like it when games are different. How different is it from the first one?
so it is in
It is the
itself
same.
it is the same in many ways. Like if you take the core of the Last of Us, and then you basically put some more things onto it, but these things that they put onto it change the way that you play the game in a completely. Like now they've added tall grass into the game, so you can actually hide in the grass. Um, and with this, and there's like taller grass and a little bit lower grass, and in the lower grass you can prone, so you can crawl across. So there's a lot of this grass all over the place. So you can basically traverse almost all of the like scenario maps completely hidden. Obviously, there are points where you're gonna have to look around and like sneak past, but it changes the flow of the gameplay a lot from this kind of stealthier, more brutal version of Uncharted to kind of something that goes more towards an actual stealth game, like a Metal Gear Solid. Um, and yeah, it's very interesting. And the way, also the just the pure brutality on display is something that kind of makes you not actually want to kill people, which is really interesting as well. Um,
In that case, that has a lot of similarities with Doom Eternal, because that is like the first game. Did Last of Us come out 2016 as well?
2013.
Bugger. Anywho, uh, they also do like have the old thing and then add a bunch, and the added thing changed entirely, because the new one you shoot yourself as a bullet and shoot yourself into the core of Mars from a super space cannon from space. Just use yourself as a bullet and shoot you. So
Mm,
in both ways, they like change how the entire game feels,
mm,
the entire meaning of it.
yeah. Um, but yeah, so gameplay is fucking awesome, and the way and all the characters, like every single NPC in the game, has a name,
Hmm?
and the other enemies will refer to each other by their name. So
Oh,
if
that sounds
you
awful to me.
kill someone and they see them, they're like, oh, they'll like, oh shit, and then say that person's name, and like it hits you in a completely different way than just any like random nameless NPC. Like when you actually hear someone's name, like it affects you in a completely different way. Um,
That reminds me of the fake Peter Molyneux in your Twitter that you tweet out ideas where it's a first person shooter, but when you kill someone, you see their entire life story, and you have their name underneath.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it is kind of like that. Like, yeah, I'm very empathetic. I'm a very empathetic person. So, like, it's very easy for someone like me to just project a life story, so to speak, onto an NPC when they die. You know, so um, I think it was very well done. It really encourages you to actually try to um go through the game and kill as few people as you can. And the way the game comments on violence and all of this stuff, I think is very effective as well.
Uh,
So
What would you say about the
overall,
other games you played? Because you played like almost all of them.
yeah. So Ghost of Tsushima is a game that I think has an insane amount of potential, and they, in my opinion, kind of squander it because it's at the end of the day, the game is another inoffensive open world Far Cry style game.
Oh, it's that kind of thing. It's a Ubisoft game,
Yeah,
but that's not made by you.
but it's not made by Ubisoft. It's a Sony first party game. Yeah, so the game has a pretty good story. It's I mean it's like good on game on a game standard. You know, like The Last of Us. I think is a story that excels like beyond movies. Like you could put that one into the Oscars and it would have a chance. Ghost of Tsushima is like you know it's good when it comes to movies and when it comes to games, but I don't think it's groundbreaking on any level. The game is extremely beautiful, but I think the game kind of suffers from it suffers from two things. One is the Far Cry syndrome, and the other is the Last of Us syndrome. Which is after The Last of Us came out, every game has to be dark and gritty and have this kind of low third person angle. Which this
Very
game,
cinematic, very cinematic.
yeah, exactly. Um, and and then the Far Cry syndrome, which is everything after Far Cry 3 came out, has to have that kind of, that open world structure that
Yeah,
every game today has for whatever reason. And I feel like
except
it
Ubisoft games.
really, what?
Except Ubisoft games, they kind of like stopped doing it because people keep calling them out for it. They kind of changed that a bit.
Yeah, I mean, do you mean like Assassin's Creed? They're like
Like yeah,
straight up RPGs now?
no, like the whole Watchtower thingamabob. They kind of like had to change because I think they got slightly embarrassed
Mm.
how much they were doing it.
Yeah, but it's still just other aspects of it, like just the the obsessive need to mark everything on a map, um,
Mm.
and yeah, just that kind of structure with main quests and side quests and all of this stuff. Um, the game I feel really is hindered by both of these two inspirations. Because if you look at what Sucker Punch made in the past, they made Sly Cooper and Infamous games that are very like fantastical and very acrobatic and all of this stuff. And this game feels like it wants to be like them, but is being held back by the inspiration by The Last of Us, basically. It has to be this gritty and dark and grounded take, but instead, yeah, it feels like it's being held back by that. Um,
And you want to talk about like chance of winning?
so I mean
Don't
it.
you say like who
So
do we actually think should win? It will win,
I
not like how
think
we who
I
we want
think
it.
The Last of Us Part Two will win. If they don't win, I don't think Ghost of Tsushima will win.
I don't
Um,
think so because last year another like Japanese samurai theme Sekiro won last year.
mm,
Kind of feel like very same theming, 2 years in a row, not gonna happen. Although I don't know
yeah.
if that even works. Yeah, I don't even know if it works like that. Like a designer, I wouldn't do it that way, but this
Mm,
is real people.
yeah. I could see Animal Crossing winning because of the same reasoning that you brought up. But yeah, I really think it's going to be The Last of Us.
Because I think
Especially
like all
because
of these,
like if you actually look at what critics think about The Last of Us,
mhm,
everyone like all the critics love it, and this is
yeah,
critics who are voting on this. So
yeah,
I do
and like
think it's going to be the
industry
winner.
people also, I think, like
Yeah, but the player's choice, player's voice is only like 10% of the vote, I think. So it's
mhm.
not gonna do much in the end. Um, Final Fantasy VII Remake, I did play that one too. I think it was great.
Mhm.
I have not played the original game.
Me
Um,
neither.
yeah, so
64.
um, I think in that case it is an example. Well, it has some bloat. I think it's a good 35. I could say it's a great 35-hour game that could be an outstanding 15-hour game.
Uh, seems isn't that just the RPG genre in general?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Um, So yeah, let's yeah,
Um,
Animal Crossing.
your
Yeah,
second place.
that's
I'm
cool.
not that far off. Uh, yeah, something I think that often I think that kind of to win you need to have like kind of hype behind you. It's kind of like Oscars. Oscars doesn't actually mean that the best movie won. It's the one that built the most hype with
Mm,
critics that wins. It's like very political in that kind of sense, and like
yeah.
going on dinners and stuff like that. Go fancy movie watching, and giving gifts. Very shady. Kind of feel like none of these games really have hype behind it, because all of these games came out like it feels like 10, 20 years ago. Like none of these are new, and like Hades, I think is like the newest here.
Yeah, Hades
Maybe
is
because
the
it
one
came
that
out
has a
after.
little bit of hype behind it.
Yeah,
But I think I haven't played Hades, and I'm not probably not gonna play it. I'm not really into roguelikes and stuff. Um, but and
I
I'm
am,
sure.
but I kind of played their games. Like I tried to play both Transistor and Bastion.
Mm,
I start, and then I never come back. Like that genre, I think their games I just don't kind of get. And I also kind of feel like they kind of look alike.
yeah.
Don't ask me.
Yeah, I also tried to play Bastion. But yeah, I think there is. I don't think this game would have. I'm not saying that Hades doesn't deserve to be here, but I don't think Hades would have been here if it came out earlier in the year.
No,
Um,
I
because
also don't
of
think it's gonna be
its
Hades
release.
because like if also I'm just looking at all the winners. I think all of them are like AAA big games.
Yeah.
So I don't really think. Also, kind of also like I think they're also like kind of realistic, dark, kind of wanna be movie games. So I kind of feel like Last of Us has kind of a big chance because it kind of fit with like the general theming of winners.
Mm,
But I think Animal Crossing deserves it. I first kind of thought that Last of Us was here by like birthright. That I
mm.
was born to be on this Game of the Year list, and no matter how good I am, I'm gonna be here. But seeing how you kind of like it, I can change my mind. Maybe it's not that bad.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have that sentiment that Last of Us
Yeah,
Part
like
Two
kind of
is
how.
just here because it's the Skyward Sword. It's the new Zelda game that it's gonna be a great Zelda game just because it's a Zelda game.
Mhm.
You know
It,
that's
it's birthright. You didn't
precis.
earn
Yeah,
it. You were born to be on this list.
yeah. So next, let's see, which one should we?
Best
I
game
mean,
direction.
yeah. I mean,
Should we
I
do
don't
that?
really see how this is a difference. What's the
Not really.
difference
I mean,
here?
Half-Life Alex is here.
Mm,
I didn't play it. It
yeah, me
seems
neither.
like it's a good. It can be good because like a good reason for that to win because like isn't it like the best and like most well-made actual VR game that actually like does things
Yeah, yeah, but there
like
is a there
probably
is a
to
VR
standards.
category, so I feel like it should be winning that one.
Yeah, but like from like I would say like from like innovation point of view, like actually
Mm,
bringing forward like new stuff. Direction for Half-Life Alex may actually win. I don't think did Final Fantasy the new one do anything like amaze balls. I don't think any of these games I see does anything like improvement upon the genre itself or like even the medium of itself. Well, I
yeah.
would assume Half Alex actually before the VR game to actually be playable.
Yeah, I think like most of these categories, honestly, I would be giving to The Last of Us Part Two because I think it
Okay, so I,
excels in
I,
so
I
many
need to
of
be the
them.
anchor here.
But one of the ones that I actually wanted to talk about because I would not give it to Last of Us Part Two is score and
Narrative.
music. Um,
Okay.
and I think Final Fantasy VII Remake should be getting this one. Um, and I think a lot of people are kind of discrediting it, because like when the Final Fantasy VII theme like plays, it's like, oh, it's nostalgia. No, I played this game, never having played the original game. I could have not have told you what the main theme for Final Fantasy VII was before I played this game, and I get goosebumps every fucking time that theme plays, and it plays so many times, and it's awesome every time.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, the music in Seven Remake was absolutely incredible. So I think it should be winning this one.
Like I kind of like if Doom didn't win score and music last time it was here. It's not going to win this time. I don't know if there's any much different.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of criticism over the music in Eternal that it didn't sound right.
No,
They
it's like
apparently
the last
like
one.
it was apparently
Yeah.
like rushed, and the person who usually makes the soundtrack
Hmm.
didn't get to master his own music.
I'm pretty sure they like sold who made the music quite a lot in like the last game. Like this is a guy who makes the music. He like does it on like a saw,
Mm.
like bending it and like hitting it with a sofa. Like kind of that feels kind of odd. It's a bit weird. I don't
So
know what kind of music Last of Us is here. I always see it's got to
mm.
have some kind of music.
Yeah, I
This is
mean
good.
the thing with it's kind of a very different kind of music. Like The Last of Us music is more in the background. It doesn't take over, you know. While
Hmm.
Final Fantasy VII Remake has this soundtrack that really wants you to listen to it. Um, while I mean, The Last of Us Part Two, I will always remember the moment when I rolled credits and the credits theme starts playing. And I will always remember how I was sitting there and like, whoa, like that was my reaction after playing the game. Um, and like I remember the theme when it was playing, and I like I went to Spotify and specifically started listening to that song like on loop sometimes.
It's pretty cool.
And but yeah, it's despite that, I think it should go to Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Hmm. I'm kind of like Ori and the Wild West. This is not the Wild West, was the last one.
Will of the
Kind of just
Wisps.
like it, because it kind of feel like a game project of students that got a full budget. Can have that kind of feel to it. Like the design stuff is very much in that
I think it's
style.
actually a lot of industry veterans that makes the game.
Yeah, but because they want this is where they have fun. When they make
Hmm.
when they make Doom, they don't have fun. When they make Ori, that's when they have fun.
Yeah, it's definitely
Um,
a passion project.
exactly. It's more in that vein.
Yeah. Best performance is this is one I
I,
also
co-
wanted to talk about.
I don't. I don't. Go for it.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk too much about it, but I think it's going to be one of Ashley Johnson as Ellie or Laura Bailey as Abby, because like their performances is like unreal. Like they are on just like an Oscar level performance in these. While I feel like while the others are great performances as well, it's just not on the same level. Like the amount of detail that they have in the tech that powers The Last of Us allows these actors to actually act properly. Um, and it gives them so much more space to play within, and they really make use of that. So I think Last of Us Part Two is just on a completely different level and than the other ones, and one of them should win. I want to like I would go with Ashley Johnson because I love Ellie, but I would probably want Laura Bailey to win only because it's going to piss off the internet to a completely new level, and I want to see that happen.
I don't understand. That probably meant something. I
Yeah,
don't know. I see one of them look like a big beard guy. I'm voting for him.
it's not a
This Spider-Man is that the
oh this guy.
newest Spider-Man? That just came out, I think.
Yeah,
I mean, voice actors you can't really. It's not really like a big like probably a hype thing.
I have not played any of the games for Impact. Or have you,
No,
maybe?
I haven't. Although the Darkest Force ones looks fun, but in a boring way. Best ongoing. Should we go
Yeah.
that?
Have you?
Because
Do you play any of these games?
no, but I think No Man's Sky should have it because like all the other ones here, like I mean, they're online and people keep playing it, but I'm pretty sure No Man's Sky actually like changes the entire game like widely since like start. So I think like just all these other ones, I assume it's just like new skins, new map. Okay, but the actual No Man's Sky actually changes like the entire game basically. You change from like an alpha to like an actual game.
Yeah, I also
But the other
think
ones
No
are like,
Man's Sky should win because I mean No Man's Sky is not being advertised everywhere, and it's
well,
still alive.
that's true.
All of
It doesn't have
these
also
all these games are
winners.
EA. Well, Destiny 2 isn't Activision anymore. It's Bungie on itself, but it was Activision back in the day, and now it's and then we got Call of Duty Warzone, which is Activision, and Fortnite, which is Epic. Like these games are being marketed to shit, and that's why they are still why they're still being played. If they all dropped marketing right now, would they still be alive? Maybe, maybe not, but it's hard to know right now. And I'm pretty sure that No Man's Sky is the one that it
It deserves
shows.
it,
Yeah,
but it doesn't have the hype behind it that the other ones have. So probably
yeah.
gonna go to one of the other ones.
Best indie.
Oh, I wonder who will win this. That first one, the second one, the ones that are nominated to win the entire thing. That one or the other one. I wonder which one will win this one.
Yeah, Hades is probably gonna win this one considering it's actually being nominated for Game of the Year. Best mobile game. I mean, could it be anything other than Among Us?
But I kind of feel like it's theft, but it's kind of like it's similar how I thought that, like how Animal Crossing should deserve Game of the Year because of just its like impact. Among
Mm.
Us can have the same thing, except it came out like a few years ago.
Yeah, it came out like 2 years ago, so I think it's weird that it's even
Mhm.
here. Which
Because the
because
mobile version came out. That's why.
did it?
Yeah, they didn't have a mobile version. Why would they? Because their games like
Oh,
the thing. But there is a
okay.
mobile version now. It's kind of like a cool business model because it's free
Mm.
and like you just buy the. It's not. I say cool. It's like what it used to be. But it kind of feel like it's coming. It's going through time to steal our award. It's traveling from the past.
Yeah. Um, best VR and AR. Probably
And
Half-Life Alex.
should we go,
Like,
before that, best community support. I don't know how Destiny can win that at all because weren't they horrible? And like any game with loot boxes, F.
possible, yeah.
All these like Destiny has engrams, right? I don't play these
Yeah,
games.
I haven't played them either. Yeah, that's kind of why I skipped them.
Apex, like it's an EA game. Of course, it has loot boxes. So I'm not like Fortnite for sure has it. Do they? I don't know.
Oh no.
Any loot boxes, F. So No Man's Sky or Fallout Boys guys, they are the winners in my eye.
Uh,
VR.
VR AR. I mean, it has to be Half-Life Alex.
I never heard of the Iron Man game.
Yeah, it's only on PlayStation VR, I think.
That's expensive.
Yeah, I mean, it's VR on a completely new level. Like, it's the game that people buy VR to play. I think it's yeah, if you look at the definition, like for the best game experience playable on virtual or augmented reality, irrespective of platform, like this game is it's that. Like there's nothing that does VR on the same level of as Half Life, Alex, and just the physics simulation and all this little stuff that you can do is like you don't even have to play it in VR to understand how immersive the game is.
Always Valve with their physics simulations. I don't know what they're just so into physics simulations. I don't
Yeah,
get it. Their entire thing is just physics simulations.
yeah. Um, innovation and accessibility. I think this is gonna be a uh pretty easy category as well. Last of Us Part 2 has an insane, like an obsessive amount of accessibility options. Like you can play this game even if you're blind.
Audio design.
Yeah, I mean, not just the audio design, like they have all these accessibility options that I think, I mean, I haven't tried them myself, obviously, because I'm not blind, but I mean, you can have things that I believe like describe the world and stuff for you. I think I'm not, as I said, I'm not sure, but I've heard a lot of things about how insane the accessibility options in that game is.
And
Uh,
the Watch Dogs game came out. I never noticed because they advertised it for like years. Never noticed it ever
oh
actually
yeah,
came
yeah,
out.
yeah. Watch Dogs Legion is out now, and yeah, it's not look interesting at
In
all to me.
in your preferred online shop, it's available right now. Also into like what the other ones did, like the Valhalla, Grounded,
I know Grounded.
Hyper.
I know the reason why Grounded is here is because you can modify the spiders to not trigger arachnophobia.
Oh, it's cool.
I think
Kind of
I
weird.
think what they do to the spiders if you turn that mode on is that they only have two eyes and four legs, I think.
Ah,
And that supposedly like doesn't trigger the arachnophobia basically.
yeah, but like to a point, I kind of feel like it's kind of the point of the game. It's kind of like, oh, you turn off like so the big in Subnautica, the big sea monsters doesn't do like the veiling thing,
Mm.
and I also you have like oh, you can also always see the sky when you're down there. Like you kind of feel like it's kind of the point of it being like if you you don't want that, kind of this kind of seem like a you kind of game, but it seems fun. It seems fine. Like it's kind of cool.
Here on Best Family, I think Mario Kart Live should win.
We scroll down. I can see first. Best action game. Don't care. Action adventure. That's the same genre. Don't care. Role playing. Don't care. Best fighting. Anything that's just an ultimate edition. F. I'm just going through. Oh, there. Best family. I just like it because it's new. I like new stuff. And like having the camera thing.
Yeah,
Quite cool.
yeah, I think it's the most innovative out of them. I mean, Crash Bandicoot 4 is, I think I have it on number 3 for my 2020 list.
Mm.
So I love that game a lot. But I mean, Mario Kart Live Home Circus is like it's like literally the first AR product that has ever looked like it needed AR. Like a lot of AR things, it's like put the thing in your room, and it's like why? And Mario Kart Live is like put the thing in your room, but it's like actually cool, and you build a track, and you see an actual radio controlled car riding around the room and all that stuff. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I have it. I set it up at school.
Ooh. Like I assume family just means like E for everyone.
Yeah, I mean it's a
PG.
bullshit
PG.
category.
PG-12. No, it's not PG-12. No. Oh, my enemy, Paper Mario, is here. I accept your existence. Um, Minecraft Dungeons. I thought that was wank. Is it here by birthright? Because it's a Minecraft game. It's born to be here.
Yeah, I don't
So
know.
I heard it just kind of just bad.
Here's like which games are family friendly and somewhat like
So
well
no,
known, you know.
because when I was family game, I thought like games you play as a family
Mm.
at first, but I assume it's just
I mean, if you bring that
P-
kind of
PG
that
PG
logic to it,
six.
then I feel home circuit is really the one that should win because it
Exactly.
becomes this
That's
communal
really weird.
experience.
Yes, I would be like because I thought Animal Crossing it has online, but it's kind of like
Mm.
can multiple Switch actually do online like play together? I think I don't think
Yeah,
it's this way.
I would say home circuit or Animal Crossing should win this category
Mm-hmm.
because they are the ones that I feel are for family play. You know, like when you actually play together with everyone in the family. You know, best sim and strategy.
Okay. This is also
I
known as the boring strategy. It's a
I
boring
mean,
category where they put all the boring games together and just call it one.
Yeah, exactly. It's like later on we got sports and racing. Like, why do you put those
Exactly.
together?
That's the we don't care genre.
Yeah, but this one it
See,
should
I played two
100%
of these.
be. Oh, you played two. Okay, go ahead then.
Yes, I played XCOM's Chimera Squad. I assume why it's here. First, XCOM is like one of the biggest name in strategy games since like the remakes.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, there are barely any other
it's
strategy
fine.
games, so it's definitely kind of here just because. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
like
called sim and strategy because they can't fill sim and strategy as their own separate genres.
yeah,
So
I don't even know what like these Desperados 3. I assume that's a sim of a cowboy experience. I assume. Crusader Kings 3. I play a lot of Crusader Kings 2. I think that it should probably deserve it because what it does good is it actually make Crusader Kings playable by human beings, not by the programmers. Because like Crusader Kings 2 is like so involved and doesn't tell you anything. Like it takes so long to learn, and I've done it. But like the actual Crusader Kings 3 is actually like set up so like a human normal being can actually like understand what's going on. It's like streamlining a lot of things, actually telling you about things. Usually in the beginning of the game, of the real game, I never build a single building, but it doesn't tell you to do it. So in like late, like almost modern day, let's say, my people was still living in the Stone Age because I never built a new building. It never told me. And but like the game, the CK2, just while it does have like a bunch of depths and like cool things in it, actually like making it playable for person. Crusader Kings 3, I would say I would take that as a win, but that's because I actually only like the strategy games. I don't know. I heard Microsoft's Flight Simulator got kind of popular. I don't
yeah,
know if
I
it was
think
incredibly bad
I
or because
haven't.
isn't it like Google Maps kind of?
Yeah, the thing with Microsoft Flight Simulator is like, yeah, functionally, it's just another fucking flight simulator, whatever. But the cool thing about the game is that it's actually the entire world.
Yeah.
And that is hella impressive. And I think it should win just based on that on its own. Like, basically took
Mhm.
all of the like world mapping data that we have basically and applied a shit ton of machine learning onto it to like actually make it into a real world and like with real depth data and all this stuff, so and actual traffic and real houses and all that, and then they've basically got
It
in
should be
and
like a technical achievement category for just like wow, like how can you
yeah.
even do this? Although I think only like this game would qualify.
Yeah. And yeah, and then they've gone in and like manually made some of the more recognizable places in the world, so
Okay.
yeah, very
Yeah,
very
so
cool.
just by Huspa Flight Simulator, but like actually like doing good for strategy, the genre of strategy, not just simulation. Crusader Kings.
Hmm. Sports and racing, I mean,
Why isn't Mario Kart Circuit here?
very good points.
Like, like all of these games are just the same game before, but now it's looks probably a pixel better and now has horrible reward systems and progression systems.
Hmm. Yeah,
Where
I
is my
mean,
Mario Kart?
yeah, if anything, like FIFA 21 shouldn't be here. That is, from what I know, literally just FIFA again. NBA 2K21, I've seen some gameplay of that one on next gen, and it like actually is a next generation leap in visual quality. So I
It
mean, I
actually
could
is.
see that. I could see the argument for that one, but not FIFA. So I mean, this should be Mario Kart. And also,
Exactly.
some
We
categories
add
have
a
six
sixth one.
entries, so why couldn't we just have
Exactly.
added Mario
Just
Kart on
insert
this
Mario
one?
Kart. Because
Uh,
like all the racing games, it's just a racing. Oh, dirt. Ooh, so different from dirt, the other one.
mm,
I didn't even know the Pro Skate. Was it like a HD version of I assume Pro Skater 1 and 2?
yeah, it's
Never,
actually
never heard of it.
supposed to be really good, so I could see that one.
Win. Let's have that win. If
Yeah,
not for
it's it's
graphics,
it's it's
because it's not
definitely gonna
the other
win.
one.
Yeah, Pro Skater is definitely gonna win. I mean, there are a few. I don't think there's a single sports game that has ever received 10 out of 10s, and Pro Skater is one of those. One of the few that actually has. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, best multiplayer presented by Instagram. Okay,
Ooh, you.
definitely Among Us, or maybe Animal
Uh,
Crossing. I could see Animal Crossing or Among Us in this one.
uh, Amicus was gonna say like the actual multiplayer within it is kind of wank.
Yeah, it sucks,
Nintendo is
but
like you just discovered that the internet existed like 2 weeks ago.
mhm,
No, that's like the best effort. Like there's so much more you could like do with multiplayer, and they are not really there.
mhm,
But I would say like again, like stories about how Frodo came to asked if you had good prices on turnips and then show up into your island, like all of that kind of stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why that should win multiplayer, not because of the actual like actual like gameplay and systems within it.
Yeah, but
Would be
Nintendo
just
shouldn't win because then they'll think that their netcode is acceptable.
exactly that's that too. Among Us, it's it's kind of janky, but I kind of think like sometimes yankiness is good because it kind of makes you like in the game endearing in a way.
Yeah, I mean, I can. I've played Among Us a few times, and every time I just see like, yeah, I can see how I can like just make this look a little bit better with just 10 minutes in Unity.
Also, like oh, actually, like there's also like leaving the game. Oh, I'm not gonna get like a lot of this actual like system within the game,
Mm,
even like, but it could be talking about the experience, must be experience. Then like, um, Animal Crossing would be like an overall for everyone's experience, while maybe Among Us is like for a person's experience.
mm,
But Fall Guys, I also want to give props to. The other ones, they are like big budget games. I don't care about you. You should have base good multiplayer as a default. But like Fall Guys are kind of like having these like groups and like this like fun thing going on all the time. And you just get when you lose, you just get dropped through a pachinko machine, whatever it is. I think it kind of deserves some kudos. And also Among Us, it's coming back through time. It didn't come out this year.
yeah,
Time
yeah,
travel.
that thing too. Like, I don't know if Among Us can even. I mean, the thing is, yes, I think Among Us deserves to be here because yeah, it's really like a minutia that it came out 2 years ago, whatever. But
Mhm.
at the same time,
It
Game
like
Awards have
effectively
already
didn't.
yeah, Game Awards have always been really precise with the window that the game had to be released in.
Mhm.
Like last year, for instance, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order was released like a week after the window, and that game would have probably done pretty well if it was released that year. This year, which was a killer year for video games, it has no chance.
Early on in the year. Later in the year, no one came out. But
Yeah,
like to be fair, Among Us effectively didn't come out until when people started playing it. Like
yeah.
effectively.
Content creator of the year. I don't
I don't
really
know who any of these
have
people
anything
are.
to say about this, really,
I've seen a
so
single one
skip
of
that
these
one.
people. Best
Best
debut
debut
game.
game. I haven't played.
Phantasmophobia is like
Yeah,
the most wank looking thing in the universe.
Phasmophobia is the one that's gonna win this because it was
But
a
it's like the most wank
phenomenal.
thing ever. Like I recognize that one and Caribon because I think I've seen like the trailer for on developer digital streams. But
Mm,
like Phantasmophobia reminds me of I think it's like Who's Your Daddy, if anyone remember what that is. It's the thing when you're like a baby and your guy's stopping the baby from killing itself. Where when you crouch, it's just torso going into the legs.
mm.
It's kind of so janky, like early stuff that I kind of feel it's. Is it even technically out? Is that what they count as being out?
I mean,
When you
yeah,
look back, you bend like an L. Is that the
yeah,
release version?
yeah. Phasmophobia is early access, so that also just brings in like,
Like,
does it even deserve to be here?
bring it on.
Esports athlete. Do you
Turkey
watch
looks.
esports?
I my friend came to watch his favorite team lose.
Okay.
That's fun. Other than that, I have not done anything. I don't know any single people here. I don't even know the teams. I don't. Oh, but I do know the coaches though. Ooh, that one. I like that one.
Okay. Yeah, I don't watch esports at all, so I could
Hmm.
not say anything on this.
The event is that there's like the event one. It's kind of like had cool moments in it, or is it just like we had a cool pre-show? We had Imagine Dragon come out and like reveal that they are not actually dead. They've been in our dungeon for a while.
I don't know. Damn, there are a lot of. Okay, there are only esports categories left.
Best esports game. God, I don't care. I'm gonna get to Valorant because it's new. Can we do that? Because
Sure.
it actually came out. Is it actually finished though, or is that
I don't
also
know.
no access kind of thing? In that
I don't
case,
play.
fuck,
I don't play any
screw
of
off.
these.
No, is that? I don't even know which Call of Duty that is. It could be like the first one.
Modern Warfare is the last year's, I think. Yeah. This year is Cold War.
Okay.
I only really
Uh,
know that it's
Best host.
what?
I just scrolled down and was looking at who's the best host. One of them had a Swedish last name. Two of them looks like it, so I want them to win. If not, I want Mendes to win.
Mm-hmm.
I just picked them at random. I don't know which one is
Okay.
which.
Yeah. I don't know any of these people.
Mm.
Anyway, that was the Game
Best
Awards.
esport team. I'm gonna guess for G2 because that's my friend's rival team. He hates them. They apparently, I think they bought his team's best player, and he's raging out about it. So go G2.
Hmm.
Or you
Yeah.
just yeah,
Again,
just G2. Okay, it's everything.
I have absolutely nothing to say about this.
Yeah, what he just said is the span of my knowledge.
Hmm.
It was just what he rants at me about. So what's our overall thought of all of this? They love Last of Us. They're probably gonna win because they have so many is
Yeah, I
part of so
mean
many
it's
categories.
it's honestly gonna be a travesty if Last of Us doesn't win in any category. But yeah, I
So
think
many
I
categories.
think Last of Us is probably gonna bring home a lot of awards, or it's probably or like it could bring home like 3 awards, and then all of the rest ones will just be like, yeah, I mean, Last of Us has already won all of this stuff, so let's just give this one to other games, you know. Uh,
Hmm.
so yeah, I think I think 2020 was it was an 2020 was an interesting year for games. Like basically every other business was hurt by 2020 and COVID and all this stuff, but games just
Hmm.
kept on going because
Oh yeah.
there isn't really anything about making a video game that requires you to be in the same room as another person. The only
We're
thing is
doing it.
really like when it
Like
comes to
playing.
like AAA games like performance capture and stuff, that's harder to do on on a distance, you know. But
Hmm.
basically, like there's source control and all this stuff. Like games don't really have to be made in an office, so we just kind of
Hmm.
kept going.
Exactly. It's like Frostpunk. We just turn on the generator, just scatter around the heat, and just coast it down while everyone else froze. Depending on where you are. I think in Japan they didn't do that great.
Yeah, I know.
That's
Like
just
it
how they are.
definitely seems like Nintendo took a huge
Yeah, I think
hit.
Nintendo did not do it, take it well, but I think most everyone else did.
I mean, it would not
So invest in
surprise me
games,
if
kids.
it would not surprise me if Nintendo still if Nintendo doesn't use source
So,
control at all.
so we need to set up this internet thing we have been told to like
Yeah.
work separately.
Yeah, and
We have to
Shigeru
look into this.
Miyamoto comes into the office and is like, "Where's my USB stick? Like, I need the latest
He
version of
comes
the
in
game."
there with just a coil of Ethernet cable. He just walks around and just go
Mhm.
like, "Does it work?" Uh, Lovely
Yeah.
man.
Um. So yeah, they definitely had a lot of had a lot of issues. Which sucks,
Mhm.
obviously. Um. But at the same time, like, yeah, Nintendo is one of the like a leak from Nintendo is probably one of the most valuable things to in that part of the industry. So they were obviously extremely careful about putting putting their workers at home where their kids could be seeing what they're making. You know, like
Mhm.
it's not the best thing for them. So yeah, but yeah, games really thrived in the when everything else burned down, you know.
Exactly.
So yeah, um, I think that yeah, it's a great year for video games. We have a
I would
lot
say
of
like
great ones this
great
year.
early year. Not a lot happened after like, because all these games came out like early in the year,
Mm.
like most. So it started off good, and then it kind of rode that to the end.
Yeah, but now we also have games like well now with the PS5 launch and we're getting Cyberpunk and all this stuff. So there are a lot of good games coming out at the end of the year as well now. So but
Also
yeah,
getting
since the
a new
game,
scanner and packs.
ooh, yeah, but not this year.
Not this year. Especially not this year. Not even next year, probably.
Yeah, don't talk too much about that. You have an NDA.
We have a public server. We have a Twitter.
Yeah, but you haven't told anyone what the release is.
I think we have.
Okay, well let's not go on speculation here.
Breaking news, everyone. A game is going to be released at some point
Yes.
within 5 years. Well, if we run out of what they have shown us, do we think we know what they're hiding?
So
What will be
what will be the
announced at the
announcements?
Game Awards?
Oh boy. Yeah.
The next Kojima game. Yes, he's gonna be there
I
in
think
like a
it's
thong, just standing like this, and just wait, and he just walks by awkwardly and says like, "This is my new game."
yeah, I do think there is definitely a chance that we'll see Kojima's next game because Death Stranding came out 29, it was last year. No, it was 2 years ago. Wait, was it last year or 2 years
Uh,
ago?
I think wasn't it last year? It got nominated for everything.
Death Stranding came
Yes, it was
out,
2019. I'm
yeah,
pretty sure it
2019.
came out.
So
They're gonna show a sneak,
I can
a
definitely
teaser.
see a sneak peek happening. So let's see. Metal Gear's like he Silent Hills was like canceled and he left Konami. It was like 2016, I think. So Death Stranding took like 3 or so years to make.
Hmm.
So starting to see teases for his next project now, when they have a bunch of tech already, because I mean, if he's going to follow his pattern, he's probably gonna make a Death Stranding too. So yeah, I can
Maybe.
definitely see Death Stranding 2 being announced. It's gonna
Yeah,
be
gonna be
even
like
fucking weirder.
it's gonna be a cutscene. Uh, gonna be like over stuff, and then you see the Walking Dead guy a bit, and then you see uh half a whale, and that's about it.
Mhm.
And people gonna explode in their minds. What does this mean? Because that's what the trees are gonna be.
So
Something Nintendo.
Curly
Nintendo has
showed
a
up
track record.
in Curly has showed up, but he's in the chat.
Curly, can you join and mess up the layout? Could you do that, please?
I mean, I would like it if he joined, but he said he's barely conscious, so
Fair enough. Uh, Something Nintendo. What will they reveal more about Metroid that isn't working out? So that they had to
ooh.
redo.
So I definitely think we could see Bayonetta 3. We saw
Oh
that
yeah,
we saw that
yeah.
like 2 years ago at Game
Was it?
Awards.
Did they announce it last year, or was that Metroid? No, you're right. 2 years ago was the reveal Bayonetta 3. So
Apparently
yeah,
there are Curly saying in the chat there are apparently rumors that Kojima is making a horror game. Ooh, maybe he's
Ooh.
making like off-brand Silent Hills. That would be pretty fucking dope. Because
Although I kind of feel like there's indie
everyone
games done
wants
that already.
PT to happen for real.
hmm Like I won't say that I'm a biggest fan of his games. Period.
Oh yeah, I haven't played I haven't played any Kojima game really.
hmm
But I have played PT, and I know PT is like a groundbreaking horror game. It was a free teaser.
hmm
um, and like people are even like not even scared by horror games are terrified of PT. Like they did something special with that one. Um,
If heads up, if anyone's like want to play something small, uh, PT style game, uh, the Black Rose was made by some classmates of mine as a project, and is inspired by PT. If you just Google Black Rose game, it's like a small free game on itch.io, I think.
cool.
If anyone's interested.
So yeah, Bayonetta. I think definitely we're seeing that one, or not definitely, but I hope it. So anyway, we could see Metroid Prime 4. When was it they when did they make that press release about restarting Metroid Prime 4? Was it this year?
I think yeah,
I
because
think
they
it was
revealed
like
it last year,
February.
correct? Yeah, I don't think they would have any time to do anything because they restarted. I think it was last
Mm.
year they announced it.
No, they announced Metroid Prime 4 in the release year of the Switch.
Oh, did they? What was the first? What was the release? What was the reveal last year? What did Nintendo release then? Because they always reveal something new. That's kind of a pattern. Will they show something new this time, or will they show
We don't.
Bayonetta?
I think we don't actually know. Apart from, ooh, this could definitely happen. Metroid Prime trilogy. That's been a rumor for a long time, and
Yeah,
that
to
could
like
definitely
cover
be
up for
announced here.
Metroid being delayed.
Yeah. I mean, there have been a lot of rumors that they're making that one, and it's just like such an easy port and such an easy way to just please
hmm
that fan base that literally go on like every Nintendo Direct and complain when they don't say anything about Metroid Prime
hmm
4.
They can also like Mario 3D collection. It have all of them free in one package for like 2 days. Then you can buy it online.
Yeah, it'll also be going away on March
Mhm.
31st, 2021, which is
I have I have kind of heard of people talking about a Mario 64 HD version, like HD, but I think that may just be like drunk Paper Mario fans like me, like just grinding rocks together and seeing gods. Like I don't. That's probably not a thing.
Yeah, I think if they are going to do an HD version of any Paper Mario game, it's going to be Thousand Year Door. That's the
Yeah,
one everyone asks for all the time.
yeah. Anyone else that we like would know of? Maybe some more of Hellblade.
Mm,
I don't know. Because didn't they really gonna
yeah,
make a
we could
Hellblade 2?
definitely see something more Microsoft. Microsoft is not afraid at all of showing things at the Game Awards. I mean, they showed the fucking Series X at the Game Awards.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we could definitely see Hellblade.
Does
Um,
Bethesda still do their own stuff? Because they
ooh,
got bought.
ooh, this we could see the Initiative's first game.
I don't
Uh,
know what that is.
that's the studio that Microsoft actually started that they didn't buy.
Oh.
They started a studio basically like in the same neighborhood as Naughty Dog, so they could poach Naughty Dog developers.
Nice.
um, so and they said that they're specifically making a quadruple A game, which is kind of the term that have been used for the kind of games that Sony makes.
Yeah, like games that aren't really supposed to like make a profit necessarily. So you
I
can
mean, they're
they have
definitely
in
making a
theory infinite
profit.
money
Yeah, it's
just to sell
the
food.
games that have infinite amount of money, infinite amount of time, and just try to reach this. Or I think I heard some kind of definition of what quadruple A means, and that is like
Mhm.
it is a triple A game that is designed to reach like an above 80 on Metacritic.
But shouldn't that be every game?
I mean, you would be surprised.
We're aiming for the 40s, boys. Let's go.
Yeah.
It's gonna
But
dig.
damn it, it's a 90.
Jumping feels too nice.
But I mean, I obviously I think every game aims towards a high score, but I think what it means is that like we are really, really, really paying attention to making this as great as this can possibly be, and if it
Yeah.
needs to be delayed, we delay it. Like that kind of mentality instead of like, hey, it's fine.
Hmm. It doesn't really make sense with like what the actual meaning of AAA means, but
Yeah,
it
yeah.
kind
I
of feel a
mean,
bit like the was it like technical alpha of Heroes of the Storm? It's just made up for this one occasion.
ooh. So Carly in the chat just said the next Smash character. That is 100%
Oh,
happening. And
slapping on that one.
if
Who's gonna
you,
be?
yeah, I mean, it's gonna be Crash Bandicoot. And if you look at the timing, um, if you account for the fact that Nintendo had massive delays due to COVID,
Yeah.
um, Minimin was announced earlier in the year, and then we didn't get like anything until like
Yeah.
September when we got Minecraft Steve. If
Exactly.
if Minecraft Steve would have been earlier in the year, Crash Bandicoot would have been around the release of Crash 4.
Yeah.
But at the
Sorry.
same time, what disqualifies that is that Crash 4 didn't come to Switch. But at the same time,
Did Persona
Persona
5 really?
5 is not on Switch or any Nintendo platform. But in that case, Joker is at least in like Persona Q2 or something like that. So it was still
Yeah.
kind of Nintendo, and Banjo Kazooie has at least been on Nintendo platforms before, even though I love when Sakurai said in his explainer video, like, if you want to play Banjo Kazooie, you can play it right now on the Xbox One.
Fun.
So,
Um,
yeah, I
what did you think of Steve when he came? What's your opinion on him?
so I
Is he a good boy?
I purchased the second it's called Challengers Pass. What's it called?
Yeah, I think Conscientious Pass.
Um, and I played like
Refunded it.
one match with Min Min, and
Hmm.
then I have not touched Smash since. Even though I'm a huge Arms fan, and I was so happy when Arms actually made it into Smash. I don't know. I've just kind of been tired of Smash, but I
I
think
hope the next match,
I think
I hope
Minecraft
the next match
is.
character is gonna be.
I think Steve is a really cool character, a really well designed
Hmm.
character. I have a lot of patriotic pride that we now have a Swedish character in Smash Bros.
Hey,
Um, so yeah, I think
the
he was a great
only
inclusion,
like
and they
the only
did him way better than I could have ever imagined Smash being in at
yeah,
Steven Smash.
the only like bad thing about it that's Minecraft is an extremely ugly game, which makes it look extremely ugly within
Yeah,
Smash Bros.
yeah, but it was kind of
That's the only like
intentional
wrong
that
with it.
they like that art style is just part of what makes
That's the trademark.
Minecraft. Like there are so many fan renditions of an HD Steve, and it just looks like nightmare fuel every time.
It's like HD Mario, like realistic Mario.
Yeah. So yeah,
I
I think it's gonna be Crash. Who do you think could be coming into Smash?
I mean, I there's two characters I want. I want Skull Kid because I like Zelda quite a bit, and he would be cool. Also, a third, actually, additional one, because just to rep, because Paper Mario wasn't the first Mario RPG. Mario RPG was the first Mario RPG. So
Mm.
just to repping for those guys, I'm voting for Gino for you bros. I'm going with him.
Yeah,
Fisk,
I think
whatever,
Gino has a
whatever.
chance this time. Didn't they remove? Oh yeah, like Gino got a costume in Smash
Yeah,
4, but he doesn't have a costume in Ultimate anymore, right?
don't think so. Because
So
otherwise, they would be all over.
yeah,
And the
I
third
mean,
character is the big engine from Frostpunk. I just want the big tower to jump around and shoot steam at people. That's all I want. Why
okay.
can't I get my characters?
So my list of characters that I want is like Crash Bandicoot, Waluigi.
I don't want. Waluigi should not ever be in the game.
I think he
He
Waluigi deserves a spot.
no he people took it away from him. Just because people are people, which are horrible, he will never. I don't want to see him ever, because that means Sakurai gave surrendered. They ruined it. He's not coming, boys. You did this. I would have loved, because Waluigi is like mwah, his best character. But you ruined it, and just for Sakurai's sake, I don't ever want to see him.
I really want to see Waluigi.
I know, but they ruined it, and I don't want it
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah. I mean, the fan base is terrible.
It's kind of
Sakurai
it's kind of like
literally
watching
like
House of Cards.
Sakurai literally like works his ass off 24/7, and people will be like, "Oh, it's not good enough." So yeah, Melee is better. Like, come on, shut up.
Is there anything left on the agenda today?
I don't know. What's your game of the year?
Uh, Frostpunk? It came out like 2 years ago.
I mean, a game that not Among Us rules, like a game that actually came out this year.
I don't actually know if I played a game that came out this year.
You played Doom
God.
Eternal.
Hmm?
You played Doom Eternal.
I played Doom Eternal. I did that, didn't I?
Yeah.
I played a box game where a game where you like sort boxes,
Is it
like Tetris.
uh,
I don't know if it came out this year, but that was kind of fun.
here
I'm trying to
is
figure out.
here's my
God, who can find it first?
list for 2020.
Where did it go?
Huh?
I'm trying to figure out what the game is called. Oh my God, no! Oh, Wilma's Warehouse.
Oh yeah, that's not a 2020 game either.
Bugger! I don't. I have to be honest. I'm very cheap. I just buy games that are on super sale and then just play Civ 6 anyway, or Civ 5.
So this is my my list for 2020. So at number 10 we got Lonely Mountains Downhill. Number 9, Sackboy: A Big Adventure. Number 8, Final Fantasy VII Remake. 7 is Animal Crossing: New Horizons. 6 is Star Wars Squadrons. 5 is Spider-Man: Miles Morales. 4 is Astro's Playroom. 3 is Crash Bandicoot 4. 2 is Resident Evil 3, and 1 is The Last of Us Part 2. I realize now that number 1 is a second sequel, or is the first sequel. Number 2 is the second sequel, and number 3 is the third sequel. Because number 3 is Crash 4, 2 is Resident Evil 3, and 1 is Last of Us Part 2. Completely unintentional, by the way. That was funny.
This is why we are degenerates. We're just going down to just doing sequels and sequels. We are the problem.
Yeah.
At least you are. I don't play. I don't do anything.
I mean, it wouldn't be more of a problem that you didn't play anything.
But then they need to try something new. That's how I defend myself. Okay. Yeah. In that case, games that came out this year: Doom, the newest Eternal.
Doom
That's
Eternal.
the one,
Yeah. Okay.
because
Yeah.
that's the
So
only
that's
new game I
your.
actually played. Oh wait, I play Switch games.
I mean,
Oh,
you
I
play.
played Digimon. I don't know if I think it came out to Switch by freaking Among Us rules. That counts. I played Digimon Cyber Sleuth.
That's also not a
I was
2020 game.
back on the Switch.
I mean, maybe the
If
Switch version, but
Among Us counts, that counts. Even though I wouldn't say about my favorite game of the year, I would still say Doom is better. So mute point. So I'll go
also
with Doom.
Resident Evil 3. I have
Repping.
Resident Evil 3 shirt on. So yeah, Curly, as you said, Danny, you should play Last of Us Part 2 and 1 if you haven't
But
played that one.
then I need to get a PlayStation. And I'm a
Yeah.
console heretic. I don't play any consoles. I only play PC.
You just talked about how you play on Switch.
Is Among Us on Switch?
No.
Exactly. I did. Did you stutter about that? No. I don't have PlayStation. Expensive, and then I have to play it. When I could be playing that, or I could playing some more Crusader Kings 2.
Now Curly says, Danny, get the PlayStation.
But that's literally impossible. You know that. This is a straw man argument.
I mean, you can still buy a PlayStation 4. That's pretty easy to buy.
I have a free. Does that work?
Hey, you can play the first Last of Us on the PlayStation 3 if you're good with
Nice.
720p 30 FPS.
I'm a simple man with simple needs.
Yeah, okay, yeah, then play it. Yeah, so
You should play Frostpunk. Don't get away from here. I'm not the only one that needs to improve my life. You need to play Frostpunk.
okay, I'm gonna Google this game now. Frostpunk.
It's great. Everyone in your chat's probably saying, I'm not seeing it, but they're probably saying that you should play that immediately.
Curly is literally the only person in the chat.
Fair enough. And he says you should play Frostpunk.
I don't think he knows what Frostpunk is.
Heretics.
Let's see. Okay, so it's a strategy game.
Yes, it's a city builder that's built around an engine that creates heat because the world is freezing over. And you have to like build up, and you have to dig for coal to fuel the engine that keeps you alive, keeps you from freezing to death. And it's full of like moral choices that in the end doesn't matter. And you're like, oh, should we put the kids to work or put them in like secure homes? Should we bury our dead or just put them in ice pits? Should we go become like fascists or theologians?
But it's a PC
Should
game.
Yeah, it may have gotten a port, but it's a PC game, yes. And it has like this awesome like foghorn when you like at the beginning of the day you had like whoa, and like the screen from the like cracks from the ice from the night just melting away, and just go out workers, do your work, the winter is coming or whatever. And then they go out and they work and they get sick and you can like force them to work, and oh no, the generator's overheating, throw in a kid so we have another hour.
Do you have something against kids?
Not as a fuel source.
Okay. Curly says, getting a PS4 now for the first time with the library is like a cheat code in life. I agree. I mean, if you buy the
Wait,
PlayStation
or
5, if you buy the PS5 right now, you get like, I think it's like 20 PS4 of the most groundbreaking PS4 games for free.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's like
sweet.
such a value. Like wow.
Yeah, I mean, you can buy a PlayStation 5 for the value of those games.
But also I don't get like, why can't you just play your? Can you play your PS4 game on a PS5?
Yes. It's like
Oh, thank God.
99% of the games are compatible.
Yeah, I wouldn't understand why I wouldn't, because they're basically just PCs at this point.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they wouldn't.
And some games, like I'm playing Sekiro right now, which is a PS4 game, and
And doesn't serve any rewards. And no awards for Sekiro.
but you don't like it.
No, you didn't give it any awards.
I mean, it wasn't awarded this year.
Baga. I forget. I mix it up with the other one. That's it looks exactly the same.
Oh, Ghost of Tsushima. Well, I played that one this year as
That's
well. But yeah, so like Sekiro had an uncapped frame rate on the PlayStation 4 Pro. So now I can play it on the PS5 at a solid 60 FPS, which is pretty sweet. Um, buying a PS5 right now is like accepting mental and physical abuse. Yeah, Curly, you had a really, really bad experience buying your PS5, so yeah.
like, it seems like to be the common state of human beings
Yeah,
right now. They're
yeah,
having a bad experience trying to buy a PS5.
yeah,
Except me, because
exactly.
I'm a cheap bastard.
But yeah, I had extreme luck pre-ordering my PS5.
Ooh.
Yeah, I basically pre-ordered it before they had announced that the pre-orders were up, but after they had activated the pre-order page.
Noise.
So I was super lucky there. But yeah,
I assume this is like a Nintendo thing where they kind of like short sell it. I assume it's just they just don't have as many as people want.
yeah, they're definitely short on production. It's not like an
I
artificial supply.
yeah, exactly.
Um, because otherwise they would be flooding the market with PS5s so that the 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 scalpers don't have power.
Yeah, but like that's the point of artificial, like
Scarcity.
make it artificial. That's exactly
Yeah.
make it artificial scarcity. That's the point, because it makes it. Because we're talking about PS5, you can't buy a single one.
Yeah,
If they just were available, they wouldn't have that spike of interest.
that's true. Yeah, maybe
But I
they're
assume it's not. I assume it's not intentional, because I think if even if it was, it's kind of like okay at this point. Like
yeah. I mean,
I don't think there's that much factory time.
yeah, like I think artificial scarcity would never be this hard. Like it would be
I
like
think the Wii
you want it to be like a little bit hard to buy a PS5, but like not like this when literally the entire stock disappears like that because of scalpers.
I think the Wii did it. The Wii was like gone,
Mm,
and that would probably use artificial stuff.
yeah,
Or Nintendo is not that good at ordering stuff.
maybe.
Either or. I would believe both.
So I think we've talked enough about the Game Awards today.
Hmm.
So to end things off, where can people find you if you want to be found?
I'm on Discord, and I am the one that tweets from the Scalar and Plux Twitter account. Available sometime in the future. The game, that is.
Do you have
That's how you reach me. I don't have anything else.
you don't have your own Twitter?
I think I do, but I think it doesn't have anything on it. So I don't have any social media stuff now, except Discord.
Do you want people to message you on Discord?
No.
Okay.
And cut.
So yeah, well you can find me at Dennis_Lofgren on Twitter, where I tweet about my hot takes and my theories for Spider-Man 3, which is one
Did
of
that
my
come out like years ago?
I mean the new Spider-Man 3
The game or the movie?
movie. There are a lot of casting rumors of like
I think Sandman's gonna be in it. I think I've seen some insider stuff about that.
apparently Doctor Octopus is coming back. Um, Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst from the first trilogy is coming back. Emma Stone and Andrew Garfield is coming back from the other from the Amazing movies. So
This is gonna be like
this is gonna be a
they're just
live
gonna do
action
Spider-Verse
Spider-Verse.
again.
Yeah, live action Spider-Verse, which is the fucking dopest thing that could ever happen.
Or is it though? Because like the point of Spider-Verse was that it was like animation, like every
Oh
frame of
yeah,
painting
yeah.
is like how you want to
I
depict
do
it.
not think it's gonna be any better than Into the Spider-Verse, because Into the
What's the point?
Spider-Verse is a masterpiece of a film, but it's gonna be
Sure.
pretty. It's gonna be pretty fucking dope.
I, I'm not gonna yell at things you like for no reason. I'm gonna be nice.
Okay.
I'll make it sound horrible. I think it's a fine movie. I watched it at home, so maybe didn't have the wow factor.
I've watched it a few times. One time oh yeah, so I mean I watched it in theaters twice. And then I remember I pre-ordered the iTunes release, and then I woke up one morning and I had it, and then I watched literally the entire movie on my iPad in bed. Because like I started watching it, it's like, okay, yeah, this is a, and then like 2 hours later I'd watched the whole movie. It's like maybe I should just get up and continue it on my PC, and I was like, I don't feel like.
And I have to leave my comfy spot.
Yeah.
Is this multiverse thing gonna be like X-Men's Dark Phoenix, that they're gonna just keep doing that all over and over again because I think that's like the finale of the entire series?
I don't know. We'll see. I mean,
We'll
in
see.
Far From Home, they like did kind of a fake out about a multiverse, so it's gonna be weird if this one's going to be an actual multiverse. But I guess
But
they can
if
kind
it's
of
a
play off
multiverse
that.
though, will Spider-Man from the animated movie come in?
Oh God, I don't know. That would be weird.
Surely that's how the multiverse thing works.
That would
In this
be
universe,
pretty
we're all
weird.
animated.
But yeah. Anyway, that's it for this episode. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again in how I'm used to saying next week, but this is a bi-weekly show now, so I guess we'll see you again in 2 weeks. So yeah, bye.